On today's video, we're going to talk about adjustments we make at the racetrack, the thought process we go through, the procedures, how do we get to the final decision. These things and more when we get back. First, the adjustment. So I'm going to say that we are tight on entry. Okay. And tight on entry is going to be different for every single person because of the way their car is set up or the condition that their car is in that is causing the tight on entry problem. So it's the adjustment. Let's talk about that first. The adjustment may be different. Okay, so we're going to throw out some ideas of things to do that will not necessarily be in the correct order for your car. But you have to evaluate, is it a spring rate? Is it a rebound? Is it too much drive? Is it my driving style? Is it my brake zone? The things that you need to look at is part of the adjustment. What have I already done to the car that's causing some of these problems? So it's step one, the adjustment. Write out several options of things you can do for the car and look at them in a positive and a negative note. Each adjustment is going to come with positive and negatives. So I always say, find the problem and fix the problem. So when you find the problem, it will come with less negatives to the entire car. Maybe no negative. But understand that in general, when I do something to the car, there's going to be positive and negatives. And the more negatives there is, the more I will have to fix as we go on down through the process. And this will make it harder and harder because there'll be more things to fix with your race car. And along with those things will come positive and negatives. So eventually you'll get to a point where you just say, I can't do this setup no more. Is tight always the answer? So in the past, having a tight race car, or the odds are of you having a tight race car right now are probable, very high. So in the past, making our car or adding tightness to our car has been by far the most popular choice that we make at the racetrack. And a lot of times we sacrifice things that we need, and we need badly, for tightness. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, is this adjustment going to make my car tighter or freer? And if the answer is tighter, you need to look at it. Well, probably both ways. You need to look at it and say, can I control this? Can I handle this? Is this positive to the overall outcome of this evening? So in most cases, having a little freer race car is not the desire of the driver, but will be more positive to the outcome of the car. So will this adjustment make my car overall tighter, or will this adjustment make my overall car freer? Adjustments. Remember, find the problem, fix the problem. Without doing that, you're just creating more problems. And be fast first. Be fast first. If you put these two things in the forefront of your adjustments, to be fast first and always find the problem, then you will have a good race car. Okay? So do remember that not every problem can be adjusted out. So when we have driver error or driver problems, we're not going to adjust them out with the car. If we have internal problems, like with motors, say motor's not running, you're not going to make that adjustment. If you have shock issues, internal shock issues, you can make all the adjustments to the car you want. You're not going to adjust them out of the car. So be fast first, find the problem, fix the problem. Okay, so now let's cover some of those problems and see if we can make our car better. Problem number one, I want to add a little drive to my car on exit. Okay, so let's look at our options. Um, a piece of lead. We can add lead to the rear of the car on the left rear. This will add some drive to the car. We can simply put some turns in the car to increase our left rear wheel load. This will add drive to the car. We can increase our extended load, which may not add as much drive to the car as it does overall traction, but it can help and it can increase a little bit of the left rear drive. We could put turns in the front of the car to raise the front of the car. Let's say that we are traveling the car very deep and we're on a bit of spring, but we're still traveling the car very deep. We could raise the car up a little bit, a couple of turns across the front of the car, which will add more exit to the car. We need a balance of turn and drive or forward motion and turnability in the car. And we don't need either one in excess. So if our car turns really, 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 really well, we could knock a couple of reallys off. Okay. And by doing that, we have a car that we can still get through the corner. I mean, we only need the car to be good enough. We don't need the car to be in excess. The car needs to be good enough to get through the corner for this night's traction level. That's what it needs to be. And if it's not, then we're going to be too tight. And if it's the other way, then we're going to lack or lose a little speed in the car. So add a little drive to the car. Taking rebound away from the car is doable, but it's very, very difficult by changing the shock. So if I wanted to take a little rebound away from the car, I could put 2 turns in the right front to take a little rebound out of the car to give my car a little more forward drive on exit. Okay, virtually changing the shock from one valve to another is a lot more difficult than it sounds. And if you're not at that level in your race program, if your shock guy's not in that level as a builder and he's got you a 10 and a 12 and a 14, and he tells you to put these on during different conditions, then that's the level he's at. And that's the recommendations he's going to give. So he's not going to agree with this or understand what I'm saying by being able to remove a little rebound, because he's messing with high-speed rebound and doesn't understand the effects that rebound has on the car or how to make that effect in the shock. So not all the answers are going to be the same, and not all the experiences are going to be the same. Maybe you have some weight in the front of the car that you want to remove to allow a little weight transfer, but in 9 times out of 10, people are going to make a bar adjustment or an adjustment to the rear of the car to add physical drive to the car. And a lot of times it's probably going to be a little more than what they need. Sometimes drive is mistaken with wheel spin, where if I have some wheel spin in the car, I don't necessarily need to add drive to it to fix it. I might need to add rear percent weight, which will add drive, but not just go right to the left rear wheel and start doing it. So a variety of steps to move the car forward, to add drive to the car. You need to determine which one's going to be best for you. Okay, so which one's going to leave my car the fastest? So understand where the mistake or the problem is and fix the problem. Find the problem, fix the problem. So add a little drive to the car. These are our options. Number 2, and by far the biggest and most popular problem that I face on any given night at the racetrack. I lack feel in the right rear. Okay, this is our number one issue, from feel to grip to side bite to drive. My right rear has I'm on top of the track. Okay, I need more feel in my car. I need more right rear. I can't feel my right rear. So this happens in every class, from mod lights to late models, the desire for more feel. So let's first understand where we're at on this problem. Is my car good enough to get the job done? Okay, that's the number one question you need to ask yourself. Or can I not just feel my car? So many nights of racing, the car is good enough to get the job done. Always has been, always will be, but we cannot feel, or we do not have a particular kind of feel in our car that we desire. So we are determined to find that feel by adding adjustments to our car. Okay. The feel of the right rear is going to vary because of the moisture content, the grip level, the tire, the usage of the tire, the heat of the tire. There's so many variables in creating feel. I'll throw one out you probably never thought of: the low speed compression of the shock. So there is very many variables that will cause feel problems in a car that will not cause grip problems. The grip's still there if you're willing to drive beyond your feel. Okay, very tough, very tough. Great drivers with a lot of experience have always driven based on feel. So to drive beyond feel generally means they're mad. They got mad in the car. So I've seen guys get mad in the car and take a car that was below average and make it well above average. I tell the story often of how we won a qualifying race in Vegas. Started on the pole and was moving our way to the back very rapidly when we was involved in an incident. And then on the next lap, he punted the guy that caused the incident and went ahead and drove that car to a win from about fifth or sixth. Okay, nothing changed in that car. Them two hitting each other didn't fix any problems with the race car. It only fixed problems with the driver of the one car because he forgot about what he felt. And there was new presence in the car because he thought that guy was coming back to get him. There was a lot involved in that story behind the scenes, but the truth is the car was good enough to win from the pole. But the particular kind of feel that the driver was looking for was not there. So feel in the right rear. It's not as complex as we like to make it. So the adjustments for feel in the right rear may be spring rate. The automatic thing is, I can't feel the right rear, so let's soften the rate. Wrong way to go. Soften the rate very, very, very seldom fixes that problem. Can, but very seldom fixes that problem. If it does fix that problem, it's because you're over traveling the right rear and you're burdening the right rear tire to a point that it's making load, okay? But it's not the way you want to go. There's so many things that can go wrong with that, and there's so many things that need to happen to make that work that it's just not that's just a poor adjustment. Adding spring to the right rear or adding load to the right rear is generally a fix. Freeing the car up a little with bar angle is going to put feel in the right rear. Finding some moisture on the racetrack, changing your driving style to come across the moisture instead of looking for that one little groove that's got moisture in it. At that height, I can cut across them moisture and have much more. I'm coming down the hill, I'm loading my right rear. So load on the right rear is what we desire. Rebound, maybe we need to add a little rebound to hold the load in the car. Maybe we have too much bar angle, upper bar angle on the right rear of a 4-bar car. So the exact adjustment is going to depend on where the car currently sets. So bar angle has become more of a popular decision on the right rear. And as we increase that right upper bar angle, we decrease the amount of time that we can spend on the right rear. So maybe we're running the car out of field before we run the car out of corner. So there's a variety of things that can come into making that adjustment, as you see. But the number one thing, maybe actually the number one thing to increase feel on the right rear is to add lead to the right rear. That really is helping the cars more than anything that we do by adding lead to the right rear, by getting the car to roll. So things we need to do to monitor the right rear. Monitor the travel, monitor the moisture level. Don't be so quick to make wholesale changes to a car. If your car is that far off, make the wholesale changes. The next time you go to the racetrack, get your car closer to where it needs to be so we're not making wholesale changes. Monitor the moisture in the racetrack, the travel on the right rear in the heat race versus the moisture versus the car's performance or feel. Then in the feature, if we're getting 2 inches of travel, which is what we suggest, in the feature, maybe we need to get 2 1/4 instead of 1 3/4 inches. So we're not just going to drive the J-bar down to drive the car into the ground. We may lower the J-bar to get the weight to transfer. That would be the ultimate adjustment because we have the car set right. I believe we should probably be moving the whole bar up and down and not just one side versus the other. We don't want more speed in the J-bar from lowering the pinion. We want the car to transfer weight. So when we get the car in a good spot, when we get the J-bar in a good spot, we may move it up, move it down for the feature. We may have to add that piece of lead to the right rear to get the car to move. So 2 inches in the heat race, 2 1/4, 2 3/8 in a feature. I believe we need a little more load in a slick condition. This is another thing that we're working on for the team members to verify our track conditions. Okay, so we race generally on a slick track with grip. We didn't race this weekend because it got rained out, but last weekend we raced on a slick track. And if you was paying attention, there was some race lessons taught that weekend at the track. Only benefits those that are there, but you always need to pay attention to other classes, other things going on, because there were some lessons to be learned on a slick track. One of the lessons is we need to travel just the same now on a slick track, we're going to have to change how we load the right rear. Okay. On that condition, one thing we might do is put a little trail in the car to get the car to get on the right rear. But in many cases, we need to add lead to the right rear. And in many cases, we're going to pull the right rear forward to tighten the car up. That will tighten the car up, but that's one of the negatives. It brings many negatives to the thing. Okay, the problem is we need to have a car in a slick condition roll the right rear, not tighten the right rear. We need the car to roll through the corner. So we need to do things to make the car roll through the corner, not make it go straight better. Okay, so find the problem, fix the problem, be fast first. Got to keep them things focused. The right rear, trust me, hasn't been fixed in the last 20 years. We've battled feel in right rear since we knew it was a problem. So as far back as I can think, we've battled this problem, and we're going to continue to battle this problem because every single person out there has a different right rear story to tell. And majority of them want to do it based on tight and not free. Okay, I'm not saying loose, I'm saying free. Free roll steer and right rear feel, are amazing, and they go a long way. So I don't have any feel in the right rear. Increase the spring rate, monitor the load, monitor the track surface, understand where the boundaries of the car is, and add lead. Lead is your best friend in a race car. And we've been taught that it is not. Lead is your best friend. Okay? If you get nothing from this video, take that away. Lead makes grip, and grip is speed. Whether it's on the right rear, right front, left front, grip in a race car will always make your car faster. Question 3, and this will be our last question for this video. My car's tight in the center. Okay, on gas, I'm tight in the center. This is a big problem with a lot of race cars, and it varies between cars like a 4-bar car modified versus a street stock or a stock car. Even though it's a metric 4-bar car, it doesn't have the rear steer that a 4-bar car can have. Okay, the reason your car's tight is because the rear steer has run out of the car. And when the rear steer runs out of the car squares the rear end back up. The weight, the left side weight that was transferred to the right has now set back on the left. And we'll probably make an in-detailed video of this because this is a subject that needs to be highly looked at. And the car coasts into the corner, and into coast, it'll follow very, very well. And then you get to the center of the corner, you pick the throttle up. And even though I got my wheels turned like this, my rears are like this, so now my front goes like this, and I have to go like this to get the tail of the car around because I have no rear steer. So if you're the type that moves the right rear forward to tighten the car up, you just made all this worse. So tighten the center is something that's going to happen unless you're in throttle very soon. So tighten center is more of a driving problem. Fix for the car would be lead on the right rear. Lower bar angle is probably going to be the number one fix for that. Short of driving style. Driving style will go a long ways in fixing tight through the center. If that doesn't seem manageable, then you need to change your left side program, percentage program, and you need to change how you drive the car into the corner. So a few ideas on how to make adjustments at the racetrack. But understand, all adjustments are going to be different for every single person out there because everybody is looking for something different. We can all have the same problem, but we may not all be starting from the same point. Okay, that's where this becomes more difficult. If you're a team member, you know that we try to follow basic principles and guidelines with the cars, and we try to move the car forward each week to make the car better. And as we do this, we become closer and closer as a group to having the same type of race cars. And this allows the group to grow as a group, as an individual. So it's just a great thing that we do with our team program. If you're not familiar with it, look it up on the websites. But everybody's adjustments are going to be different. So you can't always, and everybody's cars are going to be different. And the way we're driving them is so highly different. So asking somebody else isn't always the answer. Having somebody in your crew that understands what you do, that's educated about setups, will allow them to better your choices of getting it right. I help some guys in a B mod that we don't really agree on everything, but their crew guy does a better job at crewing their car than I do. Because I'm constantly trying to turn their car and they're trying to make the car go forward, and the driver likes the car to go forward better. So he'd rather race a tight race car than a free race car, and he does a great job at it. So I kind of have to let them do their thing. And we haven't quite got to the point of understanding. This scenario may fit with a lot of you people watching, and you may understand this. So the scenario may fit with you, and we're in the process of working that out. So be fast first is highly important. Find the problem, fix the problem. If you have questions that you need to understand or you need to address, call me at the shop and we'll go over it. Like I said, every problem is going to be a little different. Every driver is going to be a little different. Helped the guy the other day with rear steering the car, and he just couldn't understand how moving the right rear was different than moving the left rear. But after we explained it in a different light, he understood. So sometimes seeing it from a different view or a different perspective is what it takes to make it work. So let's be fast, okay, people? Be fast first, find the problem and fix it. As always, go fast, go left. God bless you, and we'll see you the next time.